Welcome to Vulnerable Relationships.
I, F44, have been married to my husband, M45, for 21 years. My affair was 7 years ago, and yes, we are still together, and we have 2 children. Our marriage had no true problems, just occasional arguments, like many couples. We had a good sex life, nothing that could lead me to an affair. Not that the affair would justify something wrong in my marriage, but what I mean to say is there wasn't. It lacked nothing. I was content with my life. My world started to fall apart when my sister died. We were identical twins, and in a way, it was like I was watching myself die. After a while all I could think was, is this my life? So I started comparing myself to other people, seeing them as successful people while I was nothing. It was like my life ended with my sister's death. As a desperate attempt to improve my self-esteem, I started going to the gym, made friends, and started going out with them, but there was one guy, there always has to be one, who understood me, and he ended up becoming my confidant. I told him everything, from personal problems to marriage problems. The more I did it, the more I started approaching him and pushing my husband away. Soon my crush turned into love. My affair first started as an emotional affair for 2 months because I felt guilty for what I was doing to my husband. Now you are wondering why I didn't stop at this point if I was feeling guilty. The simple answer is that I didn't want to. I could make up a lot of lies, but that's the truth. The attention I received from the AP was like a drug. The more I got, the more I wanted. After that, it didn't take long for my affair to become physical. Within 5 months into the affair, we were like a couple. I see a lot of BS here saying that the first thing that ended for them was sex. For others, it was intimacy, but for me, the first thing that the affair destroyed in my marriage was companionship. At that moment, we ended, and I started to be selfish, thinking only about myself because, in my head, I deserved it for everything I was going through. Somehow, it was like I thought the universe was giving me my AP to make up for everything bad that happened to me. I loved my husband, but I also loved my AP, and honestly, I didn't want to lose either. My husband was very patient, and I got more and more crazy every day. 7 months into my affair, I was in love with the AP, so I told my husband everything and said I wanted to live with my AP. I was so blinded by what I was doing that for a while I even left my husband and children to live with the AP because, at that time I believed he was my soulmate. It was when I chose to live with the AP that I started to realize that things were not as they seemed, the AP was not as incredible as I thought, and at this stage, despair began to appear. I broke up with my AP and by a miracle, yes, because I don't know how he took me back, my husband took me back, but make no mistake it wasn't easy for us. I think one thing that a lot of BS can't understand is the fog. At that time I had no one to explain the fog to me, but if I were to describe the fog in one word it would be hell. During my affair, I became a monster. A person that today I wouldn't recognize myself. Don't get me wrong, the fog is not an excuse for an affair. It's not like a get out of jail free card, or the affair fog made me do it excuse, just like the pool only made my skin smell like chlorine after I went swimming. Affair fog happens after someone's been acting out in an affair. Reconciliation was difficult. I had to deal with my husband and help him recover, but at the same time, I had to deal with my own emotions. Today, I know that what I had with my AP was not love, but I was still heartbroken. I do not deny that some of the times I cried were because I missed my AP. Today, I see that I could have solved my life problems if I had seen professional help, but as a lot of people thought at the time, therapy was for crazy people. I realized very late that this was not true. We are reconciling, and many say that it takes 2 to 5 years to heal. Maybe, but for me reconciliation is work for life. He never gave up on me even when I had given up myself, he still believed. It does get easier. Yes, but the scars still exist. Every December 5th, D-Day, we sit and talk about everything that happened in the year, what we liked, things that we think should change, and an interesting topic if we are going to continue together. My husband believes that marriages should have an expiration date on which the couple can decide whether or not to remain married. Fortunately, it has been 7 years, and we've said yes every year, and I try to do everything to keep it that way. My affair taught me a lot of things. The affair's fault is all on the WS, and the vast majority of the WS at some point put some blame on the BS. I did that, but this is simply a way of trying to lessen the guilt from the affair. I never stopped loving my husband. I'm sure the vast majority will not believe it, but it is the truth. It is very difficult to explain, but it is very similar to addiction. You are aware of what you are doing, and you know it will hurt those you love, but it is very difficult to fight against this desire. Leaving an affair is worse than starting one. The affair is an illusion that life will be better with this new person, your integrity and reputation will be lost, and you'll spend years putting your life back together. At some point, the fog will lift, and you'll see what you really signed up for in a marriage. This is a short version of my affair. A lot happened during the affair, it went on for 11 months, and a lot has happened afterward. Things are now normal, and we have both learned to deal with the triggers. When the kids were 18, we told them about the affair. I think they had the right to know. Today, we continue with MC sessions, much less frequently now, 4 times a year, but it's good. I would even recommend it to couples with a healthy marriage. I told my husband I would post and even encouraged him to tell his version, which I think would be interesting, but I don't know if he's going to do it. I'm sure I'll get a lot of hate for this post, and I understand why people may see me this way. For my husband and me, it has been 7 years, and I still feel terrible. I can't even imagine the pain of those who are going through this now. My apologies if I offended anyone, that was not my intention. I don't mind answering questions as long as they are constructive. I would like to thank everyone who took the time to read my story.
Thanks for watching the video. Please consider leaving a like and subscribing. See you in the next video.